just let everything wash away. Whatever was here, the waiting, the technology, maybe other stories floating around in your head, the cold, the warmth. Let all the swirling thoughts begin to dissolve away. And give yourself permission to drop your awareness into your body, into the here and now. Bounce evenly on your sits bones. Lengthen through the inner thighs. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. So there's a lengthening and a letting go of the inner leg, and a contracting and a compacting of the outer leg. See if you can maintain that as you expand your awareness to lift up through your side ribs, to lengthen through the side ribs, the spine itself as well. Even stacking your vertebrae, starting at the very base of your spine, and stacking your vertebrae one by one on top of each other. All the way to the very top. Resetting your head, putting your head in place. A lot of us hold the head forward. There's even a name for it. They call it forward head. And it creates a situation where it's as if the head weighs more than it is, the pressure that it puts on your neck. So we want to readjust the curves of our spine as well, so that they are optimal. Of course, keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. This allows you to actually create more length through the side ribs and the spine. Let the shoulders release down and away from the sides of your neck. Let your face completely release, completely let go. As your elbows draw down, allow your palms to come together with your thumbs at your chest. Touch your palms evenly left to right, right to left. Observe this moment in time. The experience of your body in this moment in time, without judgment, with a curiosity, with an acceptance. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together, exhaling completely, deep inhalation. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. Gently let your eyelids open. All right, let's start off lying back. Have a strap nearby. If you don't have a strap, go grab a belt or a scarf or something similar. can you help her with a strap, Vicky? Thanks. So just put the strap to the side for a moment, and just put the strap down on the side. You don't need it right now. Straighten your legs on the floor. Interlock your thumbs together and extend your arms overhead. Welcome. Tell me your name. Elisa, welcome. I'm Jonathan. Have you practiced yoga before? And do you have any injuries I should know about? Knee? Oh, any injuries? No injury. Okay, wonderful. If you don't understand anything in the class or something bothers you, feel free to interrupt, ask questions, okay? You don't feel you have to worry and wait till the end, all right? So we'll start off just have that strap nearby you and start off lying back. And do those socks have sticky things in the bottom? Okay, yeah, you'll be better off without them. And welcome to Austin Yoga Tree. We're happy that you're here. Just have it nearby. You'll need it in a minute. So take your feet together, heels together, toes together. Point your toes straight up at the ceiling. Take your little toes back towards you so the bottoms of your feet are in one straight line. And if the feet don't go together, that's okay. You know, if they're hip distance apart, for some people the feet go together and some they don't. No big deal. Remember, you are in a judgment-free zone. And that includes that no one's judging you, but also includes we're not judging ourselves. Lengthen through the inner leg. From the inner leg, lengthen up from the upper inner thigh, lengthen through the inner knees, through the inner heels. And from the upper inner thighs is also a drawing back towards the lower abdomen. So that upper inner thigh, that groin area lengthens out in both directions. And then the energy continues down through the inner leg, through the heel. The little toe moves back towards you and then draw from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact your hips together. So just like when we were sitting at the beginning of the class, the inner leg was lengthening, the outer leg was contracting. Same here. The inner leg is lengthening, the outer leg is contracting. Now maintain the awareness on the legs. So don't just give up on the legs, and lengthen through the side ribs from your hips through your armpits. Now here again, there's a tendency for the front bottom ribs to puff towards the ceiling. Take the front bottom ribs, move them towards the back body. Take the front bottom ribs, move them towards the back body, and extend to the side ribs. And then extend your arms, open your armpits, arms overhead, extending armpit to elbow, elbow to wrist, right through the fingertips. So the whole body is lengthening. Thumbs are interlocked. Elbows are straight. Lengthen. And then release and relax. Take your arms up by your sides, palms up, let your legs go, let your arms go. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders. Breathe into your hips. And then the hardest part of the pose, interlock your thumbs the opposite way. So whichever thumb was on top, change that. Interlock your thumbs, extend your arms overhead. Feet together, heels together, toes point straight up at the ceiling. Little toe moves back towards you. The thigh bones press down. Do not press your knees down. It's a straight leg, but that doesn't mean jam the knees down. But see if you can experience the thigh bone moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. So Joan, Kitty, you guys need to be very careful about your knees. And again, lengthen through the inner thighs, from the inner thigh, through the inner knee, through the inner heel. Also from the upper inner thighs, drawing back towards the abdomen, lengthening towards the abdomen. And as you lengthen through the inner leg, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Maintaining that, lengthening through the side body, extending through the side ribs, create more distance between your hips and your armpits. You need to take the front bottom ribs towards the back body in order to do that. If the front bottom ribs puff up, you're actually shortening the distance between your hips and your shoulders. And then open those armpits and extend armpit to elbow, elbow to wrist, right through the fingertips. And as you extend through the fingertips, are you still extending through the inner legs? And as you create more distance between your heels and your fingertips, can you really think about this as creating more space for your breath to flow inside of you? Creating more space for your breath. And release and relax. Arms up by your sides, palms up, let your legs go, let your arms go. Breathe into your shoulders and breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders and breathe into your hips. All right, now take hold of your strap. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor. Bend your right leg into your chest, put the strap around your foot where the heel meets the arch of your foot, and straighten your right leg towards the ceiling. Left leg is bent, right leg is straight towards the ceiling. No death grips on the strap, gentle grip. Heel above your hip, and soften your neck and shoulders so the outer shoulders move towards the floor. Neck, shoulders soft. Again, be careful for your knee, especially people have issues in the knees. Bring your awareness to the thigh where the thigh meets the hip and press the thigh back. So the thigh bone, straight leg. No, you don't need, if your leg is beginning to bend, don't take it closer to your face. Yes, eventually you're holding your big toe, your fingers, and your foot's above your face. But we don't have to get there today. Soft grip, soft hands. George, it's going to be easier if you turn your hands around, put your thumbs up, and it's a little easier to hold it that way. Soften your shoulders. So thigh back. Now extend the inner leg from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, push through the ball of the big toe. And again, draw from the outer knee to the outer hip. Sit that right buttock down. And some have the left leg up, and no big deal if you did it switched. So whichever leg is up, sit that buttock down as you extend through the inner leg more. Now maintaining that, drag the left heel, the bent leg, drag the heel on the floor and straighten that leg. So now you have two straight legs. Two straight legs. That's it. But keep that right thigh and the right outer hip. The right thigh, the right outer hip moves away from your shoulder. Lengthen both inner legs, soften your shoulders, soften your hands, soften your face. Imagine you're enjoying this. Lengthen the inner legs from the inner thighs through the inner knees, through the inner ankles, through the balls of the big toes, and draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. And then switch legs. Bend both legs, take your right foot on the floor, then take your left leg towards the ceiling, or if you did it opposite, then switch legs. You just have to switch me saying right and left. The strap goes where the heel meets the arch. Soft hands. If your hands are hurting, you're holding too tight. Press the thigh back, the thigh bone. Again, not the knee. Don't just jam the knee back. It's a straight leg. I'm not saying bend the leg. But you want the thigh bone pressing back. Because Iyengar would say it's as if the thigh bone is going to pierce the hamstring. It's going to pierce through the back of your leg. Then lengthen from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, through the ball of the big toe. And draw from the outer knee to the outer hip. Sit that left buttock down as you extend through the inner leg more. Again, soft hands, soft face, soft neck, shoulders. And then dragging your right heel on the floor, straighten your right leg. The right thigh turns in. Both thighs now pressing back. Again, be careful for your knees. Lengthening the inner thighs, lengthening through the whole inner legs, pushing through the balls of the big toes, drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Keep that left outer hip moving away from your shoulder. So the thigh, left hip, move back. And instead of thinking of this as just stretching, think of it as opening the hamstring, opening the inner leg. The right toes are up. The bottom leg, the toes are up. Then take both legs in the strap. Both legs in the strap towards the ceiling. Urdhva Prasarita Tadasana, 90 degrees. Your legs are at 90 degrees. Urdhva is upward, Pada is foot, so upward feet, 90 degrees. Again, soft hands, soft shoulders. The thighs press back, not the knees, the thighs. Lengthen through the inner legs. Draw from your outer knees to your outer hips. But this is a strong abdominal pose as well. So iron your abdomen to your spine and iron your lower back to the floor. Keep your heels above your hips if you can. Don't take them closer to your face. Soft hands, soft shoulders. Abdomen down, lower back down. Abdomen down, lower back down. Shoulders down too. And then bend your legs, release the strap, put the strap to the side. Put your feet on the floor for a moment. Interlock your thumbs together, extend your arms overhead. Bend your legs into your chest now. Now, if you need the strap, when you straighten your legs toward the ceiling, just take the strap, it's fine. You can use the strap here. Flex your toes, that begins the firming of the abdomen, the contracting of the abdomen. Now, iron your abdomen to your spine, iron your lower back to the floor, and straighten your legs towards the ceiling. And again, if this doesn't quite work out for you or bothers your back, if the abdomen isn't working, then the back may take over. So you use a strap, totally fine. Otherwise, lengthen through those legs. Well, not even otherwise, lengthen through the legs. Abdomen down, lower back down. Extend through those that don't have the strap, extend through the arms and extend through the legs. Abdomen down, lower back down. Soften your jaw. A scrunchy face is not going to make your abdomen work more. I've tried it. You can try it too. And then bend your legs for a moment. Just giving you a little break. We're not coming out. We're going to go back up. Flex your toes, extend through the arms, abdomen down, lower back down, straighten the legs towards the ceiling. Thighs back. So this is 90 degrees. If you're using the strap, stay here at 90 degrees. If you don't have the strap, you can take your legs to 60 degrees. So pointing your, depending the setup of your room or even here where you are in the room, it's about where the ceiling and the wall meet. So lengthening your legs, 60 degrees. It's easier to straighten your legs here. More work on the abdomen. Abdomen down, lower back down. Extend through the arms and legs. And then back up to 90. Back up to 90. Here you go. And then bend your legs into your chest, feet on the floor. Straighten your legs on the floor. If you have the strap, let go of the strap. Release your arms out to the side. Let your legs go. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. And then one last time, interlock your thumbs the opposite way you had them overhead. Feet together, heels together, toes together. You're lying back on the floor. Legs are straight, so you're in one straight line on the floor. This would be Urdhva Prasarita Tadasana, 0 degrees. Extending through the inner legs, extend through the inner arms. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Draw the outer elbows to the shoulders. And notice how that helps when you extend and contract, right? This experience of the arms and the legs helps you extend through those side ribs. Create more space through which your breath can flow. Toes up, toes point up. And release and relax. Arms up by your sides, palms up, let your legs go. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Bend your legs, roll to the side. Come up onto your hands and knees. If you use blocks or a chair for downward facing dog, set yourself up with whatever props you need. If you're on the floor, then shoulders over your wrists, knees slightly behind your hips. Press down to the ball of your first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms out and push into the floor to lengthen through the inner arms. You have to get those opposite actions of your arms. So the forearm rotates in to press the inner hand. The upper arm rotates out at the same time. And then push into the hands, lengthen through those inner arms. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Push into the floor again, lengthening, lift your chest up off of your wrists. Inhale, on your exhalation, take your thighs back. Take your chest towards your thighs. Take your sit bones towards the ceiling. Lengthen from the tip of your first finger all the way through the inner arms, through the side ribs, through to the sit bones. And is it Elisa? Did I say it right? Longer distance between your hands and feet if that's accessible to you. Let your head go, everybody. Let the head dangle like a mango, as one of my teachers used to say. I didn't make that up. Your feet should be at least hip distance apart. They can be wider. Press the thighs back. As you press the thighs back, that helps the lengthening through the inner arms, armpits, and side ribs. Take your abdomen, which we just woke up. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back even more. And then extend your outer heels towards the floor as you lift your outer hips up. Still outer knee, lifting the outer knee to the outer hips. And those hips go up as the heels go down. Now, it doesn't matter if the heels go all the way down. Let the head go. And then look up, walk your feet forward and hold your elbows. Hips above your heels. If your legs aren't straight, take them wider apart. No big deal. Make sure your toes are pointing forward. Now lengthen. Same work with the legs. Lengthen from the inner knees deep up into the body. So that whole groin between the knees and the lower abdomen is lengthening. The flesh of the inner thighs moves back. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Move your hips towards the ceiling. And as your hips move towards the ceiling, let your torso fall over your thighs. Let your head go. So the back of your neck becomes very long. The back of your neck becomes very long. Crown of your head moves towards the floor. On each exhalation, take your chest towards your big toes. No toe gripping. No toe gripping. Then we'll come back into downward facing dog. Let your arms go. Plant your hands on the floor. You can bend your knees if you need to. And then walk your feet back, downward facing dog pose. Press your thighs back. Press your thighs. Let your head go. And press your thighs back. Lengthen from your inner knees deep up into the body. Lift from your outer knees to outer hips. And press the thighs back. Press into your hands to move your hips further back. And then pull with your thighs to move your hips further back. So those actions cooperate with each other. Both of those actions help create more length in the side ribs and spine. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back even more now. You're dumping your ribs, Leanne. Front body. There you go. And then look up, walk your feet forward. Hold your elbows the opposite way you did the first time. Again, hips over your heels. The top of the thighs press back. Again, don't just jam your knees back, folks. But do allow the thigh bone to move from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact the hips together. Very important to keep the hips strong, hips firm. As we get older, it's a very important joint. Yes, there's a lengthening through the inner leg. And as you move your hips towards the ceiling, let your torso fall over your thighs. And let your arms go. Sweep your arms back. Take your torso parallel to the floor, hands slightly above your hips. Keep the thighs pressing back. Extend the chest forward. Thighs back, arms back, chest forward. Maintain these actions as you inhale and come up. Inhale, come all the way up into Tadasana and turn to face the front. So feet together. If that's not comfortable for you, then feet underneath your hip sockets, not the outer hip bones, right? When we say hip distance apart, that means the hip sockets. And if the feet are together, then the balls of the toes touching, maybe the toes touching if you have the spread between your feet. Is that mat slipping on you? Do you want one of our mats? Okay, if you need one of our mats, that's fine, okay? Because safety is most important. We want you to be safe and comfortable, but safety first. Balance evenly on your 2 feet. So balls of the toes touching, inner heels touching, if your feet come together. If not, then hip distance apart is fine. Not everybody's feet come together. Pressing the thighs back. Again, not the knees, the thighs. In fact, those of you that have knee issues, well, Kitty, don't work this too hard, Kitty, but you can take your shin bone forward and your thigh bones back at the same time. And that begins to adjust that. And it helps people that have a tendency just to push the shin bone back and over what I call over straightening your leg beyond straight. So you can take your shin bones forward and your thighs back. Still lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. And that even reflects right up into the chest. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact your hips together. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Shoulders stay over your hips. And then extend through your arms. Take your arms up to the sides. From your armpits, rotate your arms up. Notice how that pushes the ribs forward. Isn't that funny how you rotate your arms and the ribs come forward? Yeah, it's all connected. So take the front bottom ribs towards the back body again. And from your armpits, push your arms up. Fingers are a part of the pose. Drop the shoulders down as the arms go up. So balance evenly on the feet now. Lengthen through the side ribs. Open those armpits and reach your arms towards the ceiling. But as the arms go up, the shoulders go down. As the arms go up, the shoulders go down. Soft face, soft jaw. Turn your hands out to the sides. Exhale. Interlace your fingers together. Take your right first finger on top. Turn your palms out. Touch your thumbs towards each other and seek to get the webbing of the pinky fingers to touch. You can't get both. You can't get the thumbs to touch and the pinky webbing to touch. But it doesn't mean you can't go in that direction. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body. right? Do you notice how when you extend your arms out, the front ribs move forward? So thighs back, ribs in, and then inhale, take the arms up. Don't push the head forward. That just tricks us into thinking the head is further, the arms are further back. But the arms are just where they are. You don't want to distort the head or get that forward head that we were talking about before. Extend your wrist towards the ceiling, shoulders towards the floor. And then as you push into your feet evenly, imagine your side ribs are pushing your arms up. You're not just pulling with the hands, but your side ribs are pushing your arms up. Release your hands out to the sides, come down. And interlace your fingers together the opposite way with your left first finger on top. Turn your palms out, push the webbing together. Inhale, come up. Watch those ribs. Keep the ribs coming back as the arms go up. Keep the ribs coming back as the arms go up. Wrist towards the ceiling, shoulders down. And then press into the feet as you lengthen through the wrists. And from your side ribs, push your arms up. From your side ribs, push your arms up. Open the armpits. Open armpits are happy armpits. And release your arms out to the sides. Come down. Shoulders down, extend through the arms. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Take your fingertips up by your chest, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Now it's a wide stance, so notice how far apart your hands are when your arms are extended. And you want to take your feet below your hands. Or as far apart, if that's inaccessible, then as far apart as is accessible to you today. Again, judgment-free zone. Thighs press back, lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. There's still a lengthening from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. Turn your left foot in and turn your right leg out. Take your front heel directly in line with your back arch. Press into the outer rim of the back heel. Make sure the right toes point straight to the side of the room, that the right toes aren't turned in, but they're pointing straight. And that front thigh turns out so that your knee is in line with the top of your foot. And then lift your outer knees to your outer hips, compact your hips together. Now keep pressing the back heel, inhale, exhale, take your right hand down, left arm goes up. Good, George. Good, I like how your torso is getting more open. Head back, Elisa. That's it. Not so far back, but you just don't want to tuck the chin. So pressing the back heel, turn the front thigh from the inside out, and then press into the ball of the front big toe as you lift your outer knees to your outer hips. Rotate the torso and extend your arms away from each other. That's it. You just keep working that lift into the outer knees to the outer hips, George, and the rotating of the torso. Coming out, press into the back heel. Reach with your top arm, but resist with your bottom arm. Reach up and pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Drop your shoulders, even though your arms are up. And then over to the other side. Right foot in, left leg out. Make sure your front heel is directly in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh from the inside out. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. Keep pressing into the back heel. Inhale, exhale, come down. The right arm goes straight up. So again, pressing into the back heel. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, especially that front leg. Lift the outer knee to the outer hip. It doesn't matter how far down you go. Doesn't matter how far down you go. Less concerned with that. We need to keep the stability of the leg. So keep lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. There's a rotation of the torso. So left ribs forward, right ribs back, and extend those arms away from each other. Be more concerned with the rotation of the torso than how far down your hand goes. And then coming out, press into the back heel, reach with the top arm, but resist with the bottom arm. And then parallel your feet. And then jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. One more time. Fingertips up. Bend your legs. Jump or step. Left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Take the back thigh back. Press the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Keep pressing the back heel. Exhale, come down. Now, everyone, take your left hand on your hip. Just take your left hand on your hip for a moment. We'll lengthen it up in a second. Take the back thigh towards the wall behind you. That does two things. Well, it does many things, but two things I want to point out. It helps you press into the outer rim of the back heel, and it takes the left ribs back with you. So the torso begins to turn. Now, also what happens sometimes is the front thigh begins to turn in when you do that. So turn the front thigh out and lift the front outer knee to the outer hip. Now continue the rotation of the torso. So take your right ribs forward, left ribs back. Right ribs forward, left ribs back. But don't throw the shoulder forward. So, and don't put your hand on your knee. The shin is fine or thigh is fine, but not, you don't want pressure on the knee. But don't throw your right shoulder forward. Everyone, take your right shoulder back. Even though the right ribs go forward, the right shoulder stays back. And imagine you're leaning against the wall. And take both of your shoulder blades on that imaginary wall. Joe, keep the back thigh pressing back. You're moving into a back bend. Lean against your imaginary wall. The head is also against that imaginary wall, and then extend your left arm up and finish the pose. And then reach that top arm and pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Take your hands on your hips for a moment. Take a breath. Observe here. And then extend the arms again. Right foot in, left leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Inhale, exhale, come down. Then take your right hand onto your hip. Now again, that left thigh needs to move towards the wall behind you. The left thigh comes back. That enables you to more easily press the outer rim of the heel. You can take your hand on your hip. You can keep it up if you want. It enables you to press the back heel. It also begins that turning. It helps the right ribs go back. But then you have to correct with the front leg because it also turns the front thigh in. So turn the front thigh out and take the back thigh back at the same time. And lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Don't jam into that knee. Be careful for your knee. It's a straight leg, but that doesn't mean press the shin bone down. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact those hips together. And now we rotate. You took the back thigh back. That helped bring the ribs back. So take the left ribs forward as the right ribs go back, but don't let the left shoulder follow. Can you separate the action of your left shoulder from your ribs? And then lean against your imaginary wall, the back of your head against your imaginary wall, and extend your right arm up. Extend those arms away from each other. Nice, George. Reach through that top arm. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. All right, everybody take a chair. Take the chair, the edge of your mat. Tonasana, side forward bend. So when you do this, watch for a moment. You're going to you start with your right foot forward and your left leg back, but a lot of us will start here, and I want you to take both feet back so that your arms and torso are almost in the straight line. I get that I'm not in a straight line. There's still that angle there. One day we'll see what happens. But you don't want to be here, right? Do you see the difference? So hands on the chair, take your front foot back, take your back foot back. It's still front heel in line with your back arch, right? So you want those armpits nice and open. Now, when you're here, there's a tendency for that right hip to move forward. Can you take your right hip towards the wall behind you? Take your right hip towards the wall behind you. The good question. So the back foot is turned out about 30 degrees. And Sean, see if you can get more distance between your feet. Even if you need to take the chair onto the floor a little bit, that's fine. If you need more space, you just move the chair off of your mat a little bit. That's fine. So that front leg is straight also, right? Two straight legs. Two straight legs. You can say hello to your hamstring. Kindly. Don't berate your hamstring because you've been ignoring it for decades. Lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, right? That same lengthening of the inner leg. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact your hips together. Now allow your abdomen to draw up towards the spine. Lengthen from your pubic bone to your navel. This is a forward bend. Lengthen from your pubic bone to the navel, navel to your sternum, sternum to the collarbone. Your head begins to look up in this part of the pose. So the head begins to look forward. But it looks forward because your chest is pushing it forward, not just because you're cranking your neck. So, if it's down on the floor in front of you, that's fine. It doesn't need to be straight up. And as you extend this front of the spine, the front of the body, let the energy roll over the shoulders. Take your shoulder blades into the body. The shoulder blades move into the body and down towards your waist. And then switch legs. So bend your front leg. Take your back foot to where your front foot was. Take your front foot to where your back foot was. Again, that's turned out 30 degrees. Keep that space in your armpits. And it's going to help here. It's not just your hamstring. It is your hamstring, I get that. It's not just your hamstring. It's the groins too. Can you lengthen from the inner knees deep up into the body? Really lengthen there. Yep, keep lengthening, Elise. Take that left hip back. Take the left hip closer to the wall behind you. Take the left hip closer to the wall behind you. In fact, lift from the left outer knee to the outer hip. And that action helps take that left hip back. That action helps take that left hip back. Ears are between your arms. So it doesn't hang completely here. But actually, we want to begin to look up here. So extend from your pubic bone to your navel, from your navel to your sternum, from your sternum to your collarbone. And the head actually looks up. So correction from what I said before. Take the shoulder blades into the body and down towards your waist. That's it, Elise. Good. Keep that left hip moving back. And then bend your front leg, walk your back foot forward, take your hands on your hips, extend your chest forward, come up into Tadasana. And it's checking in. You're not between poses. You're in a pose. You're in Tadasana. Take a moment to check in with yourself. We'll do it one more time. Hands on the chair, right foot forward, left leg back. So the first thing to happen is that right hip tends to come forward. Take the right hip back so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. That's what we're looking for here. We want the two sides of your torso equal in length. Elise, watch the back leg. You're really pressing the back knee back. Bend your front leg a little bit. Keep the heel down, but did I say front back leg? I meant back leg. I'm sorry. That's better. Yes. Straighten the front leg and bend the back leg. There you go. Now you have a straight, your back leg is now straight. It should never feel straighter than this, because it can bother your knee over time. So keep that right hip going back, 2 sides of your torso equal in length. Lengthen from your inner knees to your inner groins. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact your hips together. Now the lengthening of the torso, lengthening from the pubic bone to the navel, create more distance there. From the navel to the sternum, create more distance. From the sternum to the collarbone, create more distance. The energy rolls over your shoulders. Take your shoulder blades into the body and down towards your waist. Now with flat hands on the chair, keep your hips where they are. The hips go back. Crawl your hands forward. Just crawl your hands forward any amount. Get that extra length in the side ribs, but more importantly, opening in your armpits. Because open armpits are happy armpits. And bend the front leg, we'll switch legs. So left foot where your right foot was, right foot where your left foot was. And again now, so the first thing to happen is that left hip comes forward. Left foot forward, right leg back. Keep that left hip moving back. Keep that left hip moving back. Lengthen through the inner groins, from the inner knees deep up into the abdomen. Keep the left hip going back. 2 sides of your torso equal in length. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Hands on the chair. And lengthen from the pubic bone to the navel, from the navel to the sternum, from the sternum to the collarbone. That whole front of the spine lengthening, let the energy roll over your shoulders, take your shoulder blades into the body and down towards your waist. And then maintain that. Keep the hips going back, especially that left hip, and walk your hands forward. Don't bend your front leg to walk your hands forward. Observe your pose. And then bend your front leg, walk your back foot forward, hands on your hips, extend your chest forward. Inhale, come up. Then downward facing dog with your hands on the chair. Take both hands on the chair, walk your feet back. Walk both feet back. Downward facing dog. Hands flat on the chair. Press the thighs back. Still lengthening through the inner groins, inner knees to the lower abdomen. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. The top of the buttocks moves away from your shoulders. So take the top of the buttocks back as well. At least it'll be better for your shoulders if your hands are in the top of the chair. It interacts with the shoulders differently. Here, the ears are in line with the upper arms. So you're not looking up here. Keep the thighs pressing back. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back even more. See if you can get the air pocket out of underneath the ball of the first finger and thumb. So press the inner hand down still. Press the ball of the first finger. Press the ball of the thumb. And look up, walk your feet forward. Hands on your hips, extend your chest forward. Inhale, come up, Tadasana. So here, now Parvita Trikonasana. So it's going to be right foot forward, left leg back, but you're closer to the chair now. So that when you place your hand on the chair, you'll start here with your hands out to the side. So here, So start here. So your front foot is slightly under the chair. Your hands, wrists are underneath the shoulders, and then the back foot is back with the left foot turned out that 30 degrees. Now we have the same issue here of that right hip coming forward. So take the right hip back so that the two sides of your torso are equal in length. Still lengthen through the inner groins from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Now take your left hand on the chair over your foot. Still a straight leg. Two straight legs. Two straight legs. Take your right hand onto your hip. And then rotate your torso towards the back wall. That's it. Keep the right hip going back. Your hand's on that hip. So keep the right hip going back. Rotate the torso. Keep the right hip going back. Rotate the torso. That's it. Soft face, soft jaw. And then turn the torso towards the floor. Take your hands back on the chair. Both hands now. And then bend your front leg and switch legs. So the right foot goes back, left foot slightly underneath the chair. So again, the first thing is that left hip comes forward. Take the left hip back so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. Lengthen through the inner groins, so inner knees to lower abdomen, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Then take the right hand on the chair over your foot, left hand onto the hip. Keep that hip going back. The left hip moves back as you turn over your front leg. Rotate. Keep that back heel sinking down. Again, watch the back knee, Elise, okay? You don't want to take that back knee so far back. There you go. You want to bring more awareness, and it comes over time, but you want to bring more awareness in the thigh moving back than the shin bone moving back. Rotate. Enjoy this. Say yum, yum, twisting. And then turn your torso towards the floor, hands on the chair, bend the front leg, downward facing dog, both feet back. And then one more time. That right foot goes forward underneath the chair. You have to adjust where the left foot is. So front heel in line with your back arch. The left foot turns in slightly, or it's turned out 30 degrees. Take that right hip back. Move, take that. You can even take the hand on the hip. Take that right hip back. The left hand will go over the foot, on the chair, but over the foot. Take that right hip back so that the sides of your torso are equal in length. Now there's still an extension here. So extend from your pubic bone to your navel, navel to sternum, sternum to collarbone. Inhale, and on your exhalation, rotate. Rotate from the base of your spine towards the top of your spine. So first rotate it at the lower back. Switch legs, Elise. You got your legs switched. Switch legs. Two straight legs. So rotate at the lower back. Hopefully you were getting ahead of me as I was looking at people. Rotating at the mid back and rotating at the upper back. So don't just crank the shoulders around to move the abdomen, but can you move the abdomen to turn the shoulders? Yeah, and that's good, Elise. If you're against the wall, you can take your hand to the wall. That will help in your turn. That's great. And then if you'd like, this is just for the picture, you can extend your right arm up. Finish the pose. And then take your right hand on your hip, turn your torso towards the floor, both hands on the chair, and switch legs. Bend the front leg, switch legs. Take the left hip back. Take the left hip back so the sides of your torso are equal in length. Lengthen the inner groins. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. So right hand over your foot, left hand on your hip. Again, that left hip going back. Now lengthen the torso. So from your pubic bone to your navel, from your navel to your sternum, from your sternum to your collarbone. And then starting at the base of your spine. Inhale, exhale, rotate. The lower back first. Inhale, exhale, rotate into your mid back. Inhale, exhale, rotate at the upper back. Careful for tucking the chin. And then rotate the abdomen to push the shoulders. Don't just crank the shoulders. Watch the back leg. And then if you'd like, you can finish the pose. Extend your left arm up. And then take your left hand on your hip. Turn your torso towards the floor. Both hands on the chair. Walk both feet back, downward facing dog. Thighs back. Lengthening through the inner arms. Look up, walk your feet forward. Hands on your hips, extend your chest forward. Inhale, come up. Take your feet together or hip distance apart, Tadasana. Whichever way you're facing, doesn't matter. And release. All right, let's continue with some twists. So take your chair, take the back of your chair, face it towards the front of the room, and then sit in the chair so the right side of your body faces the back of the chair. And I'm going to try and adjust so everybody can see me. Here we go. So the bar of the chair, I get is a little bit in the way here, but to the best you can with whatever chair you have, square your knees with your hips and take your heels underneath your knees. Now, even here as we sit, there's a tendency for the front bottom ribs to push forward and the top of the buttocks to come up. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. That will take the top of the buttocks down. And if you want, you can take the top of the buttocks down a little bit, that's fine. But focus on the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Still lengthen the inner groins and draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. And then extend your arms forward and extend your arms up. Get some length. Lengthen the groins, then lengthen through the side ribs and reach up through the arms. Inhale. On your exhalation, turn towards the back of the chair and take hold of the sides of the chair. Keep the elbows up and the shoulders down. Don't lift your shoulders. And try not to lean forward or lean back, but keep your spine perpendicular to the floor. Inhale. On your exhalation, pull with your left hand, push with your right hand, and turn towards the back of the chair. Turning into the back of the chair. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. When I say lifting, I mean lifting through your side ribs and your spine. Chin parallel to the floor. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Elbows up, shoulders down. On your exhalation, come together. So here, George, your feet aren't together, okay? So feet will be hip distance apart. Turn around on the chair. So again now, square your hips, knees, heels underneath your knees. Watch the front ribs. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Extend your arms forward, arms up. Really get that length. The lift is more important than the turn. So maintain the lift. Inhale, maintain the lift. Exhale, begin the turn. Take your hands onto the back of the chair. Elbows up, shoulders down. Chin in line with your sternum. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, pull with the right hand, push with the left hand, and turn towards the back of the chair. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting up through the side ribs and spine. Exhale, turning. Shoulders down. Keep those front bottom ribs moving into the body. On your exhalation, come to center. turn around. So again, like in Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose, we started at the base of the spine, moved into the lower back, the mid back, and the upper back. We want to do the same thing here. So square your hips, knees, and heels. Arms forward, arms up, front bottom ribs towards the back body. Maintain the lift. Inhale, exhale, take hold of the back of the chair. So starting at the lower back, from the base of the spine, moving up. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turn into the lower back, moving up one vertebrae at a time. Front bottom ribs back. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning into the mid back. Again, moving one vertebrae at a time. And then inhale, lifting, exhale, turning into the upper back. Elbows up, shoulders down. Now bring the left shoulder blade into the body. Chin parallel to the floor. Observe your pose. Exhale, come to center. Turn, other side. Front bottom ribs towards the back body, arms forward, arms up. Keep those front bottom ribs moving back. Remember, we're going to start from the base of the spine. We're going to move up. Inhaling, exhaling, turn. Take hold of the back of the chair. Front bottom ribs back. Start at the base of the spine. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning one vertebrae at a time into the lower back. Elbows up, shoulders down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning into the mid back, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lifting up to the spine and side ribs. Exhale, turning into the upper back. Now take the right shoulder blade into the body. Front ribs back. Observe your pose. Inhale, maintain that lift as you exhale. Come to center. Come on up off the chair. We'll do downward facing dog. If you want to use the chair or the blocks, use them. Otherwise, we can use the floor. So your choice, chair, blocks, floor, or anything else. Press down to the ball of the first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms out. Lengthen through the inner arms. Toes under, straighten your legs. Inhale, our last downward facing dog of the day. Exhale, thighs back, chest towards your thighs, sit bones towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the inner arms, lengthen through the inner legs, longer between your hands and your feet, at least if you can. Or just take the chair like Joe has. See how Joe has it on the chair? You can do that. Yeah, perfect. How is this downward facing dog different than your first? And then bend your legs. If your hands are on the floor, touch your knees to the floor precisely the same moment. Everyone come into child's pose. So feet together, knees apart, sit bones on your heels. Extend your arms forward and rest your head either on the floor if that's accessible to you, or if your sit bones are coming up off of your heels or the floor is just a little far, you take your forehead on the block. It's totally fine. Most of my yoga journey, I had my head lifted on a block, and often days I still do, to be honest. But some days it goes down. Rest the skull. More than the length here, we want the skull to rest. Then take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up. Lie back. Lie back on the floor and bend your legs into your chest and give yourself a little hug. Either hands around the shins or hands behind the knees. Whatever is more comfortable for you. And then giving yourself a little hug here. Now is a wonderful opportunity to say something kind to yourself, honoring yourself, remembering that the purpose of yoga is to still the fluctuations of the mind so that you can bathe in your own true splendor. Can you recognize here now the true splendor inside of you and perhaps bathe in it? On your inhalation, take your feet to the floor. Straighten your legs one at a time. Let the legs fall away from each other. Take your arms comfortably out to the side. Elisa, if you need more space and you need to move your mat a little bit away from the wall, you can. Take what space you need because you're lying back now, so it's fine. Yeah, and just move that chair out of your way so you have space there. We have plenty of room. So find a comfortable place for your arms and let go here. Let go. Let your arms and your legs flow away from your torso. Imagine 4 streams flowing away from the source. Your arms and legs are those streams. Your torso is the source. Allow your arms and legs to flow away from your torso, like 4 streams flowing away from the source. And let your torso itself surrender towards the Mother Earth below you. Let your skull surrender and release, relax all of your facial features, your forehead releasing, letting go. Release, relax your eyebrows. Release, relax your eyelids. Rest your eyes themselves into your cheekbones. Release, relax your nose, the tip of your nose, the inside walls of your nostrils, letting go. Release, relax your cheekbones and your cheeks. Release, relax your lips, top lip, bottom lip, corner of your lips. Release your jaw. Release, relax your tongue, the tip of your tongue, the way back root of your tongue where your tongue nears your throat. And release and relax your throat. Let go everything, hold nothing. Let go everything, hold nothing. Let go. Surrender. Shavasana. Again, slowly coming out of your Shavasana. Take a soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation and a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. And your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. Take your hands, place them onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers, and heal. Whatever it is you may need healing with today. Pick a side, left or right. Extend your arm past your ear, roll to that side. So right arm past your ear, roll to the right. Left arm past your ear, roll to the left. Be on your side for a moment. Rest your ear into your upper arm. And then when you feel ready, take your top hand, place it on the floor in front of your heart. Turn your torso towards the floor and push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. And then come up to sitting. Bring your palms together. Broaden across the collarbone. Draw your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up, taking a moment to observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? Remember to take your practice out into the rest of your day, into all of your interactions with other people, with kindness, with compassion. Kindness and compassion for others, and most importantly, kindness and compassion for yourself. Let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Then you let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you.